U.S. marijuana stocks continue to lead the industry. Why pot stock investors are paying so much attention to U.S. cannabis stocks. 2020 has been a tough year for marijuana stocks to say the least. As we entered this year, marijuana stocks looked like they had a great deal of potential. Soon after, COVID hit worldwide stock markets, resulting in large losses. But 6 months later, many leading pot stocks have been able to rebound. Although there are periods of short-term volatility, the long-term sentiment in the cannabis industry remains very bullish. Major U.S. pot stocks like GW Pharmaceuticals Inc., Cresco Labs Inc., Charlotte's Web Holdings Inc., and more have continued to show long-term potential. U.S. pot stocks are fundamentally strong. In the U.S., in the past few years, we have seen extremely strong fundamentals from major U.S. pot stocks. This includes MSO pot stocks as well as ESPs. These American marijuana stocks have been able to push high margins and high profitability, while their Canadian counterparts have not fared as well. In addition, some MSOs in the U.S. have been working to reach the $1 billion sales mark, which would be a big milestone. In the past 6 months alone, many cannabis stocks have reported record-breaking revenue. Despite the COVID-stricken economy, the cannabis industry in the U.S. has been able to flourish to a high degree. In addition to the upcoming election, could mean that there are 5 more states for pot stocks to capitalize upon. Cannabis industry reform is occurring in big numbers. As stated before, there are a lot of things on the line come November 3rd. With 5 states set to vote on whether or not to legalize cannabis, this year's election could be a big deal. In addition to the election, there are several major pieces of legislation that are also on the line. This includes the Safe Banking Act and the HEROES Act and more. These laws could help completely shift the way in which the cannabis industry runs. In the past, we have seen banking be an extremely large issue, hindering success for pot stocks. But new laws and overwhelming support of the public mean that this could be an issue of the past. Of course, a lot of that depends on what happens in this election and whether or not the power is flipped to those who support cannabis. But the public has continued to voice their support for the legalization of marijuana.